talking about movie Arrival. I'm here with MAK Videos.
Yeah.
It's the dude.
The best memer. Actually, I'm not really a meme channel. I should become more of a meme channel, though.
So we're going to talk about them, like, a general, like, overview of the movie without spoiling anything, and then we'll spoil it. Because...
Or maybe we'll just spoil it, like, halfway through to ruin it for you. Just maybe.
Really? You're going to do that now? What did I say?
The dog is ruining everything.
You said that and he was like, what? You? Are you for real? Just gonna put your balls down on the video game and put your paws on my fucking phone. Don't look at me like that. Yeah. You thought I was gonna play with them. I was just reaching for my phone.
Haha, roasted.
Alright, I don't care about editing that out, so whatever. Alright, you need to stop.
Should we take it from him?
No, because then he'll just go after it.
True.
You gonna cooperate? Alright. So, the movie has Amy Adams in it, and she's good in this because I didn't like her in Superman.
I don't really like her in most things.
Yeah, but she was good in this.
Yeah, she was really good in this, actually.
Except, like, the Batman vs. Superman. Alright. What is your input?
I hate her in Batman.
She was so bad.
Actually, I haven't even seen Batman. I watched, like, 20 minutes of Batman vs. Superman, and I turned it off because I was bored.
Yeah, I walked into that theater going, maybe this will be good, and I walked out going, why did I have that thought in my head?
Yeah, that was an awful movie.
Yeah, but she was bad in that just because her character was like a throwaway, like, who the fuck cares thing.
Yeah.
But, oh look, Google Software Update Agent.
Oh, awesome.
I remember that.
Yeah, those things still show up all the time.
But, so basically she's a linguistics professor, and what happens is some aliens come down from space and, hold on. They come down, let me open the door for him before he loses his fucking mind.
So a bunch of aliens come down from space, and it turns out the aliens aren't real, because how can aliens be real if our eyes aren't real? Jaden Smith jokes.
Yeah. So they come down from space, and the military comes to her and asks her if she'll help them because they can't understand what the aliens are saying. And she reluctantly agrees to it, I guess, because at first she didn't care, and then she decided to change her mind for no reason. But she ends up meeting this like astrophysicist or something, and they end up having to try to communicate with the aliens and shit. And she has like this whole thing where she kind of feels like she's going crazy talking to these things because she has to decode their language, which just basically looks like a complicated circle with a bunch of little squiggles on it and shit.
Yeah.
And that's their language. And
there is a reason why it looks like a circle, though. But
Yeah.
I'll talk about that in spoilers.
Yeah. So basically, they come down to 12 different locations, and everyone wants to fight them, and some of them want to help them, and her and Jeremy Renner's character, who's the astrophysicist, has to work on figuring out what they want and figuring out what they're saying. So now we'll move into the spoilers.
Spoilers or just...
We'll just move into spoilers, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Because why not? I don't really know how to talk about, like, the core of this movie without spoiling it.
That's true, yeah.
Because there's no really way to explain what happens unless you spoil it.
I mean, well, I guess we could recommend... Before we go into spoilers, just go see the movie. Cause it's good.
I wouldn't recommend this to everyone because it's a slow movie.
Yeah, it is.
And it's like, there's a lot of build-up, and you have to be able to sit through that and wait a lot and, like, enjoy the development of a story rather than it being spoon-fed you like a fucking Marvel movie or something.
Yeah.
But
I feel like, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't tell everyone to see this. I'd tell people who are willing to think about what they're watching to go see it.
Yeah, I feel like even if you don't think about it, there's still some things to enjoy.
Yeah. But you still have to be able to watch a slow movie.
If you don't, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like something similar to it. if you didn't like, if you don't enjoy movies that just make you think and make you pay attention, then yeah, you don't watch it. But I feel like most of the people watching this video probably enjoy those types of movies.
Yeah. So to get into the spoilers, what happens is they start talking to the aliens, right? And then they get onto decoding their language, and all this plot develops, and China wants to attack them and attack the aliens, I mean, and then she has this epiphany where she thinks she knows what she's doing. And so the movie opens with her who is obviously appears to be her daughter.
Which by the way, I didn't like that opening. And so actually, I'm gonna talk about this because someone asked me. I said on Twitter like the only problem I had with the movie was the opening scene, and someone asked why, and I couldn't really answer in one tweet. But basically, my problem is it's just really corny, and it just felt stupid. Like that's not the way it should have opened, I think, or at least they should have delivered that scene differently because it felt like a cheesy, stereotypical. Oh, look, a mom and her daughter, and then the daughter gets sick and dies, and it's like, I don't care. I didn't think it was, like, sad, and I don't know. I didn't like the narration.
Yeah, I think the problem that I had with that opening was that they introduced us to these two characters, and then one of them dies immediately, and we didn't have enough time to be attached to either of them to care.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, here's the two, they die. And it was like, why, I don't have time to process that to care.
I feel like it almost could have been better developed in like a scene where maybe Amy Adams is like talking to someone, and then they mention how her daughter died, or well, actually that wouldn't make sense because her daughter dies in the future technically, but
yeah, that's another thing we have to discuss.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like there must have been some better way to develop that than just kind of show it to you right off the bat, because it felt kind of corny. I mean, everything after the first like 5 minutes is great, but that first 5 minutes, it's just it. I'm trying to think of an example. It's like if you're eating. Oh, here's a good example. I just thought of this off the top of my head. You're eating a sandwich, or like a sub, and the first bite of it is just bread, and it's like, oh, that's not good. But then the rest of it's good.
Yeah, that's.
I can't believe I thought of it. That's a good example. I'm proud of myself for that.
Yeah, so the thing about the future, so the aliens at one point, probably like halfway through the movie, say that the way they say it is give weapon, and some of them interpret this as like they want to give us a weapon, and the others interpret it as they want us to give. Did I say? I don't know. They want us to give them a weapon, or they want to give us a weapon, and some people within the movie thought that this was like a threat kind of thing, and other people thought it was like they want to offer each other things like a trade. And later on, it's revealed that the weapon is that Amy Adams can see into the future, and that was the whole thing with the opening, was actually her seeing into the future, because I guess they wanted to throw that out there early, but the aliens explain that the weapon is her ability to see into the future, because they're here to help us because they can see the future too, and 3,000 years in the future they need our help with something, so they want our help. They want to give us help now so that we have a reason to help them later.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I liked pretty much all that, like everything after. I liked the whole movie, but I really like the whole twist, sort of, because I didn't see it coming at all.
Yeah,
and the best part about that twist is it's not like, I feel like it'll be different for everyone, because Carter said that like he found out early on.
Yeah, we all saw,
but I didn't find out until like points. Yeah, there's not one moment where everyone goes. It's like everybody has a different time in the movie where they go, oh shit, that's what the twist is. Like, so it's really smart.
Yeah. Like, where I figured it out was, it turns out that Jeremy Renner is the father of Amy Adams' daughter, so they had a kid together. And in one of the future, because there are scenes where they go into the future without really telling you, they make it come across as if it's a memory, and it technically is a memory, but it's a memory of something that hasn't happened yet. So her daughter's asking her, about something, and her daughter says she wants a more, and she gives her an answer, and her daughter says she wants a more sciencey explanation. And Amy Adams' response is that if she wants science, then she can go talk to her dad. And that's where it hit me that I was like, so that it made sense to me at that point that was her dad. Because they had that thing on the helicopter earlier in the movie where he read something from a book she had wrote about language being the cornerstone of civilization. And he said that was nice, but it's wrong because science is the cornerstone of civilization. So they built that little like butting of heads thing where she thinks that language is important and he thinks science is important, when really they just go hand in hand. But that's besides the point.
The whole idea too of the language thing, like going back to the thing about the communication, how they have the little circle things, and how remember at the beginning she said there's no beginning or end to anything. Yeah. Well, I think the reason why it's a circle is because there's no end to a circle. It just keeps going.
That's what they said in their language. Like when they were describing about the, like, you know how we have, like, past tense, future tense, present tense, all that?
They don't really
in their language, there is no, like, tense. It's just, it's happened. It's, like, the way their language works is that the sentences, what's in the sentence has happened, hasn't happened, and is happening at the same time.
Yeah, the whole idea.
Because the way that time the way that time is they're describing it is that there really isn't time. Everything just happens at once, and we just perceive it in the point that we're located in that sequence.
Actually, like, I remember when someone said in the movie, I think it was Amy Adams, I forget who said it, but someone said, what language you speak actually can affect the way you think. And I don't know if that's true or not, but it's kind of interesting because, I mean, there are languages that, like, take example, like Spanish. They speak so much faster than us. So it made me wonder earlier today, like, does that mean they think faster than us too? Like, does that mean they have quicker reaction times?
Well, I thought it was just that it sounds faster because there's more vowels.
That could be it too.
That's what That's what I've heard, at least. I don't know if that's accurate, but what I've heard is that the way they talk sounds faster because there's a lot more vowels than in English.
Well, I know they don't usually, like, at least my Spanish teacher told me they don't fill their, like, gaps with or like. They're just silent between when they're thinking of a new word. So I don't know if that's, I don't really know. I haven't heard Spanish people talk that much, but it's just interesting because I wonder if that's true. It might. I mean, it kind of makes sense because you're a product of your environment, right? So if you speak a certain language, psychologically, that probably affects you. I don't know. That has nothing to do with the movie. That's just something I'm curious about.
Yeah. So it was like basically the way I thought of the movie was what you were saying. I didn't really. The opening was okay for me. I mean, it wasn't great, but it wasn't like complete garbage.
Yeah.
But after that, I just thought the movie was great. Like, I walked out of that theater and I was like, this is one of the best things I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, it's probably the best movie I've seen in theaters. But I haven't seen that many good movies in theaters, so it's not saying.
It seems like most of the stuff I've seen in movie theaters were not stuff that were worth seeing.
Yeah.
Probably most of the stuff I saw in theaters were stuff that had hype built up around it.
Yeah. Well, part of the reason too is neither of us are 17. I think that's 17, right? So we can't see rated R movies, which obviously I feel like most good movies are rated R. This is an exception, obviously, but
yeah, I feel like with the rated R thing though, it's just like they have more freedom to do what they want.
Yeah, it's not because like
it's not just like, oh look, it's rated R, that must be good. It's just like they have more freedom to do what they want.
Yeah, exactly.
But then at the same time, there's less of a demographic for that because
which
you can't have children.
The NBA for that, but.
You can't have children coming in and seeing it and then going, "Mommy, what's scissoring?"
Like, well, I mean, yeah, but I feel like the rating system is a whole other conversation. But I feel like it's fucked up. I don't like it that much.
I think people should be allowed to do what they want, and if there's repercussions to it, then it's their fault.
Yeah, actually, that's completely true. I feel like it should be up to the theater almost.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's
for another day.
Yeah.
But so overall, the twist was good because it wasn't like one of those things that was telegraphed. It was like you actually had to be thinking.
Yeah.
And there was nothing to like tip you off really, so it wasn't one of those things where you could sit there and go, let me try to figure this out. It was like one of those things that just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
and the fact that they had the way they wove those like future scenes into it to make them seem like memories worked really well, and they did a good job with that because it came across as more of a memory than it was her seeing in the future. And when they wanted to show you that that wasn't the case, then they did it at the right time.
Yep. I mean, there's a lot of like small details in this movie too. I feel like that kind of, and here's another thing too is I watched an interview, and the screenwriter basically was saying how the whole thing's about like communication and you know, talking and communicating civilized, you know, instead of chaotically. And I don't know, I feel like it's interesting how the humans are all, you know, have their shit all over the place and they can't really communicate, but I feel like the aliens have it all kind of figured out. So I don't know, it's interesting that, especially in this like political climate with Trump and Hillary and all these people going at it, I feel like it's a good movie to come out at that time because the whole thing's about how important communication is.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's true. Communication is kind of not... communication is not talked about enough.
Yeah, I get it.
That was a stupid joke. I'm sorry. But I'm rambling now, but, you know.
I like the, because there, like I said before, there was a point where China wanted to attack the aliens, and then Amy Adams' character saw in the future that she said something to the Chinese general to make him stop that, and what happened was she saw in the future to see that she had told him his wife's dying words, and that made him not want to do it because I think he understood that something was going on because he gave her his phone number in the future.
Well, I don't know. I thought it was the aliens kind of playing with their minds.
I don't know exactly what they did because it was very weird how that happened. Like,
yeah,
he gave her the phone number and said, "I don't know why, but I think you need this," and it's almost like he knows, but he doesn't.
I feel like it's not the actual guy. I almost feel like the aliens are just fucking with Amy Adams' mind and kind of making her hallucinate, sort of.
Yeah, it could have. But there's a lot of ways to interpret that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like no matter how you interpret it, it doesn't really change anything.
Yeah, it doesn't change anything. It's just interesting to think about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What on the whole wife's dying words things, I'm very curious as to what they were. I'm sure they're online.
Because I don't speak Mandarin.
Yeah, I assume most people who saw it probably don't. Oh, actually, well, Will was with us, so.
Will doesn't speak very fluent Mandarin.
I'm just saying, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about. So, that's about it.
Yep,
so,
that wraps it up. Solid 8.5 out of 10,
yeah.
by the way, for me anyway.
Yeah, that's how I feel. So see the movie if you can sit through a long, like, slow movie that doesn't really get too intense until later. But
that's my only other very minor issue is I feel like if they cut down a few scenes, it would have flowed a little bit quicker. But I mean, it's still fine. It doesn't bother me too much. It's just not as rewatchable because it's so slow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still rewatchable. I'd still definitely see it again, but I feel like it's not something I can watch on repeat just because it's not as fast-paced as most movies. But that's not a huge issue. It's just the way it is.
So, thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and check out MAK videos. I'll leave a link. And I'll see you guys in the next video.